Hey, we're back. We're back. Welcome back. That's what I was trying to say, but welcome back to That's the Minority. We back, all the way back.
We back to talk about this episode.
There
episode
we go.
7.
I'm Auntie Corral. That's all I need to say.
And I'm Auntie Dewan.
And I'm Auntie Jarrell.
Now we back to talk about this episode. And let me just start off by saying, for all the dolls that have been watching RuPaul's Drag Race throughout the years and have been complaining that there has not been enough drama in these episodes.
Yeah.
Baby, last week we saw a little bit and the drama continues into this episode. So let's dive into it. So the episode kicks off with our mini challenge, and good old RuPaul favorites fashion, this was a glory hole quick drag challenge.
I felt connected after telling that glory hole story over on the podcast.
Yes. Well, I low-key feel like this was that Joella went home way too soon. Because this episode, this mini challenge was made for Joella. And low-key, they knew that this was coming. I'm mad that the producers didn't ask her if they could keep her costume. No, just keep her costume.
Oh, keep the costume
for the challenge.
That part. Someone should have snagged that. You right. That would have been a great quick challenge outfit to wear doing this. That's
yeah. So that was super cute. So basically, the challenge
I like
here,
that. These are the moments still, because like over the years, because like if you've been with RuPaul's Drag Race for a long time, you've gone from like the logos to the VHSs. It was damn near VHSs, VH1s to now the MTV. I love that they still keep these like queer moments, because they like some of it's kind of maybe gotten a little watered down over time. It's not maybe as queer and gay all the time. I love these moments because for the middle of America that happens to just like the drag queen, we're going to show you the glory hole, and it's going to be stupid and silly, and it is like super just gay. And I love when those moments come in. That it, like, it's, if anything, it's just to be silly for the queer culture, for the sake of being the queer culture.
And low key, I feel like there was a whole bunch of like, little old ladies that be watching this with their, their daughters, their gay sons, that still have no idea like what a glory hole really is. So I'm here for just the campiness of it.
Is that what Larry was going to all these years? I heard him say about the glory hole. I thought it was just the watering hole.
So the mini challenge was essentially, we had to break the girls up into two groups, orange versus blue, and they had to transport an Anastasia Beverly Hills lipstick from one queen to the other through the glory hole using nothing but their mouths. And honestly, I feel like these mini challenges are just an opportunity to kind of get the girls out of competition mode, like real competition mode. It's still a competition, but it's more lighthearted, more fun. And it's, this is something that honestly, I wouldn't mind doing with some of my gay friends.
It will be kind of cute. It's a pin the tail on the donkey. It's put the makeup through the glory hole. Right.
So that was super cute. And then we move into where RuPaul shares what the Maxi challenge is. And this is where we learned that this is going to be the Let's Get Sickening ball, where the girls have to have 3 looks that they're presenting, 2 looks that they're able to bring from home, but 1 they have to make there in the workroom. Look number 1, it's bathing beauty, sizzling hot swimwear. Look number 2 is sea creature couture. And look number 3 is sea sickening eleganza. And this is where they're upcycling from a bunch of marine trash into create, hopefully, a look to remember on the runway. And there were a few that we remembered and a few that we'll probably want to forget.
Throw that right back into the trash.
So first things first, what are your initial impressions about the concept for this week in terms of the Maxi challenge?
I struggle sometimes when it's the weeks where it's like the 3 looks. I feel like it's hard for me to be engaged for 3 complete looks, to be honest. Like, I find myself zoning out and it's just not this season, it's every time this part of the season comes around. This is always the episode that I find myself the most spaced out on. Because I'm like, it's hard it's hard. It's hard for a queen to just have 3 looks, and I'm like, oh damn, you ate it up. This episode, there was actually maybe one that I was like, okay, you actually did good. So this is not my favorite episode every season, quite frankly. Because it's
this is my favorite episode of each season, because you get to see more of the queens. You know, like so many episodes have so much filler in there where there's just them talking in the workroom. Yeah. That I want to see them in action as queens, not as them as regular people. I'm sorry to say.
You said I can see them at the bar.
But I want to see what is it they bring into the what they bring to the table. I want to see why they were selected over hundreds of other queens, right?
Yeah.
So I want to see more of that than the workroom talking stuff, personally. So I think it was a great way for me to see, because I think about like the first 2 episodes, right? We were saying like, pretty much everyone's here, and I think for me, I already had like a couple people up there, and now this episode did this. Mm-hmm. For me, this really separated and said, okay, you know what? You know who definitely a filler queen. You know definitely who ain't winning, and it really solidified that for me.
Yeah. See, I almost feel like I'd rather see this episode maybe when it's like the top 5. That way you're like, damn, I don't know who to pick right now. Like here it's such, like you said, like there's such a runway between some of these queens. I'm like, you just wasting my time. You ain't winning. Go home.
Yeah.
You done wasted 30 minutes of this episode showing your ugly ass gowns.
Yeah.
This is
maybe the top 5 is like maybe a little like competitive. I don't know.
This is one of those challenges where as an audience member, you get to see the perspective and the point of view from that drag queen. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to really pull from all the other seasons. I'm sorry, not seasons, the other episodes, really what their drag is all about, because you get glimpses of it through the prism of whatever the challenges or whatever they have to convey. And there are obviously some queens whose aesthetic and point of view really come through strong and on point. But there are a lot of others that are kind of like, what is her drag really all about? Is it just that, or is there something different? And this is an opportunity for you to see, okay, they can now curate basically a collection based off of this brief, and you get to see what their drag is really all about. And we got to see what their drag is all about in this episode. Also, I love the fact that this was a unconventional materials challenge, not necessarily a sewing challenge, because I think that gives a certain level of creativity and freedom of construction that's not anchored in, I got to use a sewing machine to put this look together.
But you should go in the show knowing how to sew.
Be prepared. Be
prepared.
Season 17 of RuPaul's Drag Race. So ain't no reason for you not to know and not to do. All right. So we're in the workroom. So before we get to the stage, because the lion's share of this episode is going to be the runway looks. Each queen, 12 of them? 11. 11 of them are showing 3 different looks. So that's 33 looks that we're going to be seeing. So that's the lion's share of the episode. But before we even get to that, there is some drama in the workroom where Lexi Love comes out saying, who ruined my outfit? And as it turns out, Anya and Arrietty were the ones that were spray painting out there and spray painting on her tarp look, her tarp look. And the drama is that Lexi comes into the workroom, says all this. She's like clearly emotionally distraught. And when she leaves, Anya says to the rest of the group and to the folks, well, I think that was, if her stuff was on the ground, then I think that was me and Arrietty, but I don't want to like throw Arrietty out there without talking to her. And I don't know if now's the right time. So that creates a whole level of drama. She goes back outside. She's having a conversation with Arrietty, who's out there at that point. And Arrietty owns up and says, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't know that was your tarp, and she's looking at the paint colors on her garment. I'm going to use air quotes for those y'all that watching. Her garment, and she see brown, and of course brown and green were the colors that Anya had, and there was a big blow up that happens between those two. Now, I'm going to pause right here because I got some tea. Apparently, in all seasons past, when girls want to spray paint their garments, production puts tarps out there, clear tarps on the walls, and allows you to spray against them on the walls. So the question then becomes, was it clear that the plain tarp that Lexi Love had put on the ground was somebody's garment? Or did people think that was, people meaning Arrietty and Anya, think that was the tarp that production had put down for people to spray and not mess up the asphalt? Be that as it may, the drama is still, why didn't Anya just say, oh yeah, that was me in the very beginning? I'm curious about your thoughts.
Honestly, no. Like, I understood, because if me and someone else fucked up, I can own my shit, but I also wouldn't want to rat that person out, right? Because they got to have ownership for their own part of this, right? Only person I can apologize for me. So I understand her being like, okay, I want to be like, hey, Aria, did you know that we actually did this? And just kind of like, hey, girl, we need to go apologize. Like, put something together for us to actually go and say something. And I don't know. I just, as a person who when I'm upset, I'm not trying to hear shit. I know for a fact saying something, Lexi wasn't going to hear anything. And that explains why the next day when she was like, I calmed down, I thought about it, like, I understand what you were saying. Because when you that level upset, you ain't trying to hear shit. And it's a competition on top of that. So understanding both of those, I would have done the same thing as Anya, because I know ain't nothing I'm going to say going to make up for anything that she's feeling right now. So I would have waited until but it just happened that she pieced that shit together very quickly before she had the chance to do what she said she was going to do.
Yeah.
And that's what looks bad. It's not like she just went on the whole rest of the day and the next day didn't say anything. Before she could even do what she said she wanted to do, she came back and be like, bitch, I knew it was you.
But here's the thing, like, Anya saw how upset she was. If she connected, for me, there wasn't like a, oh shit, that might have been me moment. Like, she was looking at her like she already knew she had done something wrong.
Yeah.
And so in that moment, all you have to do is stop fucking sewing. Go back out where Lexi just went. Don't tell the girls first. Go out there and be like, oh shit, let me go grab Arrietty right now. Let me go grab Lexi. Even though I know she ain't gonna listen to me right now, at least let me do it now. Don't make Lexi come back into the room twice after she done discover shit when you already knew what you done did. Don't tell the fucking girls. That's shady as shit. Don't tell them, hey girls, guess what? I think it was me. No, ho, put the shit you sewing right now, put that shit down, run back out in the hallway and be like, hey, I think that might have been me. That's the proper way to own up to something. I get that she didn't want, it might not have been the time or the place, but you got to own up quicker than that, ho. And then don't start yelling at me because you fucked up too. Yes, I'm emotional, but don't start yelling at me because your ass spray painted my shit.
I don't agree with that. And we've been on that podcast yelling back and forth plenty of times.
So am.
And when it comes to communication, those people's feelings matter at the same time. And like you said, there's a right time and place, right? That doesn't mean anyone can be a punching bag in a conversation. And that's why I wouldn't have said nothing, because looking at her, Lexi was not in a place to receive any type of apology.
But then don't tell the girls then. In that moment, that's what makes it look a little shadier too. It's like, okay, you own it to yourself. Be like, damn.
As the resident Cleveland ossipy officer, I'm gonna break this down for y'all. I'm gonna break this down for y'all from a Cleveland perspective. What I appreciated about what happened, number one, I'm gonna say two things. Number one, I'm gonna say that yes, she should have just said it right then and there. Oh, I was out there spray painting. If that was your garment, I didn't know that was your garment. So yes,
you don't even need to go Arrietty into it.
I'm just okay. So my point number one is yes, she should have done that. I actually have 3 points. The second point is not everybody knows exactly what to do in the moment to do it. It's great for all of us to sit back here in the comforts of our own homes, not being part of the drama, not in the competition, not competing with these hoes, not hearing all the shit, and not being the victim of all this other shady bullshit with the other competitions that have been going on. So from the lap of luxury, it is very easy for us to say what she should have done is. So my third point is what I appreciated about what Anya did, and how I know that it is not coming from a place of, I'm trying to be shady, is that when she came out there and said all that and then bum rushed right back out after 5 seconds, Anya said, that was me and Arrietty. We were out there doing that. I don't know if now's the right time to bring it up to her, subtext, because look how emotional she is, and B, because I don't want to be putting somebody else's business out there. So the fact that she said that on camera to all of the girls, instead of it being said to the confessional after the fact, to me says this was not an issue of being shady about owning up to it. And that's why when she came back at her and she said that, yes, that was me. And then she's like yelling at her. And then Anya's like, I'm owning it now. Yes, I'm getting hyped too, because at the same time, we don't know what's going on. And we don't know what was going on in Anya's head. You have a tarp, girl. It ain't like you had a garment. It wasn't like...
But all of it was unconventional, though.
She had a tarp. She had a tarp. A tarp, not a garment. And she's acting like the tarp was ruined. And we saw what... And by the way, folks, we're going to see what she does with it. So the dramatics of it all. Now, this might be... for TV, it might be hormonal, and it might be justified. But the reality of it is that if we're in an unconventional competition and I'm going outside to paint some things, and we know that outside it's the production lot, so they don't want to damage all the, the building or whatever because of all this stuff, I'm going to spray my stuff where I think it's safe to spray it. So it stands to reason if the garment that you're using is
the true pettiness might be producers then that didn't stop them from spray painting on that thing. But like, no, that ain't. Part. No, wait, that ain't the tarp. That's the tarp over there. This ain't the tarp.
That part.
So, question then for both of you: Did Arrietty? Why aren't y'all mad at Arrietty? Because Arrietty didn't rat it Anya out.
No,
because Arrietty
did not rat her out. It literally, she said,
I think that was me and Anya.
She came to her own conclusion. She did not rat Anya out. So Lexi was like, oh, well, if that's yours. And then she looked at the tarp and then she realized what the other girls were doing. Then she put 2 and 2 together. So Arrietty did the same thing that Anya was trying to do, which is like, okay, I'm having some ownership, but I don't want to put anyone else's business out there. It's the same. It's the same.
Okay. Because put yourself in Arrietty and Anya's shoes. You're out there, you're getting your garment together, you're spray painting stuff. You think, there's a tarp on the ground, so I can just lay my shit down here, spray this, so I'm not ruining the ground underneath this, and having production come back to me saying y'all weren't supposed to do that.
I don't think it was intentional at all.
So
1,000% don't think it was intentional.
The idea
I just think she could have had a slight moment to pause before talking to the girls to at least try to attempt. If Lexi's all crazy, okay, I tried. Let me come back until she's cool. That was the part where it's like, ooh, again, don't think it was intentional by any means.
Yeah.
But I just think she had an opportunity, if she didn't want to rat Arrietty out, to right then drop what I'm doing and go and grab Arrietty and be like, hey, girl, I think we might have spray painted the old girl's shit. and she over here going crazy.
Ownership comes in different ways, though, right? Like
for sure. I'm just saying, for me, that's what I would have done.
Right. But I think we've all had one moment where, like,
for sure,
there's a time that we have in the meeting, be like, oh, shit, yeah, my bad. And there's times where we're like, okay, wait, well, I fucked this up. How I'm going to save face. I need to think about this a little bit to then truly show the apology, right? And I'm thinking, again, from a cutting standpoint, she didn't get that opportunity.
And low key, I don't think that she knew what Lexi was actually talking about.
She knew.
No.
Because that cameraman called her too.
What I'm saying is,
I knew immediately it was her. Immediately, I knew it. Lexi didn't even get out of the workroom before I was like, God damn it, Anya.
Damn Anya, the same here. Because Anya be talking all day, but she ain't talk that moment.
Look,
I'm like, oh girl, you ain't that quiet now.
All I'm suggesting, I don't know. Again, we aren't the ones that are in there. We're seeing that. We're seeing the edited version that the production team is showing us of what's going on. So let's be clear about that. Yes. And second of all, if somebody came into the workroom and I don't know what you're working on, I don't know that that the crux of your outfit is a blue tarp.
I don't know, because Lexi was twirling around that tarp before they went outside. So she knew that tarp was out there.
All I'm saying is, if I don't know that, Because if I saw that, then why would I then go out there and spray paint
Right,
on
I
the
still
blue
don't
tarp
think
if
it
I
was
seen
just-
him do that?
Okay,
See,
I don't think it was intentional.
We beating a dead horse. She literally
Yeah, it's
said
not
she didn't know
intentional.
what was your tarp and what
Right.
was the spray tarp.
Right.
And that's
but
and
she
that's
just
the
had a
that's
tarp, but
the
she didn't
piece.
know that
Yeah.
was her tarp, is what
So-
I'm saying.
okay, so
So let's get to the
that
looks.
gets squashed.
The 33 looks.
That gets squashed. And then we go to the runway. And so we have our co-hosts who are La Roche makes a return. We always love
Hey,
La
La.
Roche when she comes back. And then we had Hunter Schafer, who is trans actor who was on Euphoria. Now it's a model and
Model of the
activist
year.
and things like that.
She was
So
actually
Model of the
top
year.
model of the year.
Yeah, she beat out what's that one girl that I'm in love with?
Oh, forget her name. She's been nominated 3 years.
Anik or something like that. Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
think of it right now.
But yeah.
At any rate, so they're the guest hosts this week, and we have our 3 looks. So again, just to remind you, look number 1 is bathing beauty, so it's all bathing suit inspired. Look number 2, sea creature couture, and then look number 3 is sea sickening eleganza. And first up is Crystal Envy. So we're going to be showing you all 3 of the looks together. We'll provide our commentary so that we're not just going through these one by one. To save a little bit of time because we get a little long.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little
long. First impressions of Crystal Envy.
I see what she was going with. I'm not necessarily wowed. I like the dress that she actually made. For that to be a reconstructed dress out of like other material, like that actually came together really well. The swim was just low hanging fruit, and I don't like the fitting of the pufferfish.
Yeah, the Barbie thing is, the second you see swimwear, you're just like, okay, everybody always go to a Barbie, especially her aesthetic is kind of just that pretty look. So it was low hanging fruit. It was funny with the bayang though. So I was like, okay, that was at least something a little funny, a little different to throw that on. The puffer look was fine. It was fine. And then again, I think my favorite look was the one that she created there, especially since Rue was like, girl, you're going to make it out of this. This is going to be a little tough. It ain't got that much give. And you could tell because she couldn't walk, but it was executed well, especially with trying to line up the seams on horizontals.
Yeah.
That's a nightmare. You've seen a lot of girls not be able to do it over the years on this show. So it was cute.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think the thing that was most interesting for me was the swimsuit category altogether was kind of like a throwaway in terms of what they delivered. I didn't find that any girl's swimsuit, with the exception of maybe a handful, maybe a couple like fingers
2.
full, really deliver something that was worthy of being on that stage. And then for the sea creature couture, just overall commentary.
But what about for this one?
Hold on one second, because I'm very surprised that we did not see a duplicate of any kind of sea creature. So I'm curious as to whether or not production gave them something that they had to do, or they had to pick from a selection of things to avoid having 2 people doing the same. Because with 11 people, and picking sea creatures, and being in the queer gay community, there's probably a couple of things that I can't imagine that this pufferfish would be something that Crystal would actually select out of all the things that are perhaps out of the ocean. So, but for the looks here, I give it a C. It was cute. I love the fact that the puffer outfit actually had a blow up element to it. So that was really nice and interesting. I just feel like when you have colors that are like this brown kind of muted, it really it's hard to break through out of that. So it just looks drab. And when you look at what she did with her non-conventional challenge, it's so bright. And I think as a collection of 3 looks, that was probably the standout star for me.
I feel like browns look better on melanated skin.
100%. 100%. All right. Next we have Jewel Sparkles.
The middle one was the winner. The sea creature one. I hated that first one because she put them things around her waist to try to hide the tights. It looked so sloppy to me. And then I thought the last one she created, I get what she was trying to envision with like the trash bag kind of things on the side. it was just the coochie cutter is eating her moose knuckle up, and I couldn't stop looking at that part. And that's all I saw the whole runway. I was like, it's so ill fitting down there that I can't stop looking. But the in the middle one was actually pretty cute. Is that the one that Ru said needs some peanut sauce? If I had some peanut sauce to go with this outfit,
right? This is the Spanish dancer as the fish inspiration.
Okay,
what do you think, Jerome?
I agree with Carell. The middle one is probably the best of the three. Although, and I hope I don't ruin this for everyone. I grew up with Sixers. It looked like a maxi pad.
Girl.
It kind of do look like a maxi pad. You right. No, you're right.
With wings.
Yeah. The heavy flow.
Yeah. Honestly, the middle one is obviously the best out of all of these looks. It's just, like the bathing suit was just underwhelming. She kind of reminds me of
Georges.
Georges. Yeah. In that look. She kind of reminds me of Georges in that look, just not as well executed.
Just not as good, right?
And then these girls and these bodysuits, like, I get it's an unconventional challenge, but like it just
do better.
This is what you came out with. So yeah, clearly the one in the middle was the star of the show. And I think if there wasn't some other looks, I think that this might have been one of the tops, but there were just some other looks that just blew this out of the water.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, let's look at next one is Lydia Butthole Collins.
She looked like she came right out of a butthole. All three looks.
All three of them.
It's giving anal play. All three of these looks are literally giving anal play. So
here's the thing. Lydia's makeup, I love her makeup. But the rest of it this week, at least, her body was killer in the swimsuit. I was like, okay, the bodying. But the rest of it, I like her, at least her unconventional one, better than even the one she brought from home in the middle.
Yeah. I like the ideas that she presents. I just feel like it's more of a subversive kind of drag that just I don't think really reads on this main stage in a way that I think if she were performing a number that it would read. And so, yeah, I tend to agree with those. It's a butthole for me.
Stevie Wonder will like it.
You know what? Let's move on to Sam Star.
Actually, Sam, I like her second one and her third one. The first one was so stereotypical. Like, I could have probably predicted this is what Sam Star would have came out in. Before even she came around that corner, I knew it was going to be something like this. And maybe that's a good thing because that's branding for her. But for me, it's not in a good way because it's very plain middle of the country drag. But the one in the middle was kind of 8, actually. It's kind of different for her, at least. I didn't foresee her coming out in that. So that's what I like seeing from the drag queens, that I'm like, oh, okay, I did not foresee this kind of style on you. And then I thought the unconventional, I think she ate it up, actually. The silhouette of it is cool. Again, her struggle is she needs to take one thing off before she turns around the corner. She likes to just do the most sometimes. Put it all. She's like, oh, I like this bracelet. I like this necklace. I like this extra trash bag. I want to put this on my head. I want to put the red lip on. I want to put these bangles back on. Like, it's just, girl, okay, you don't got to show us all the tricks in one look. But I thought for what she did for that day, that was a top look of the week. One of them.
This was one of the fish because this is the so the before Lydia Butthole Collins was the anglerfish, and this is now the viper fish. And this is one of the ones to me that just said, I don't know that she would have picked that. So this to me said, I think, like, affirms that production probably assigned them a fish that they had to emulate, because this just, if I think of all the things that's probably a part of her brand, this is the one that's probably the most against her brand. And that fish, if you can see it, it's like all silver and has these snaggly teeth coming out like those spikes. So I think the interpretation of that was really well executed, but overall as a look, I'm like, okay, it's fine. And then the trash bag dress is cute. ish for what it is. I was surprised that it got more love than what it actually than what I thought it was going to get.
Mm.
All right, next we have Anya Nerve.
I hated this motherfucking blonde wig. That's what I wrote down. She came around in that wig. I was like, I fucking hate it. The middle one was dope. The last one was fine. That first one, I hated it. Hated it.
Yeah.
She looked like
Drew,
three
what you
different
think?
people. She looked like three different people, which I
does.
kind of like, right? Like, again, like I was saying earlier, I feel like I got to see more of who she is and that she has different layers of what type of way that she could potentially perform, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Was it my favorite? No, she definitely landed in like the safe category for me.
Yeah.
I think one thing that I like about her a lot, and I forget who Law said it to someone, but whatever you make, you need to own it. And one thing that she knows how to do is whatever she's
Just
putting
own
on,
it.
whether she doesn't like it or not, you gonna believe that she is the baddest
The
one
baddest
in there.
bitch.
So
Yeah.
there's there's an element to how to wear a garment that I think she does really well. It's just the garment this week I feel like didn't match how well she wears garments.
Yeah. I agree. I agree with all the comments. Honestly, I feel like there is a taste level issue with Anya just altogether.
Mm-hmm.
And that's twofold. One, she's not making all of her outfits. So, you know, a lot of these queens will go and work with the designer and pull looks together and all that kind of stuff. And so you're kind of, the designer is translating what the vision is for the artist. And I just feel like maybe the designers that she worked with for a lot of her looks, not that great.
She need to get out of Cleveland.
Need to get out of Cleveland. It is. I mean, I think the Starfish was the show, and honestly, you can tell she felt the best in that Starfish look, and she
1000%.
looked the best. Everything from the hair, the makeup, the outfit, like everything, and it snatched her waist in so beautifully. It was just such a great silhouette. That first look. It
might be the worst look of this season.
Well,
I was so mad.
It's up there because it just feels like broke down fembots. You know the fembots that have the things that come out the Austin Powers.
It was ill fitted. Like it was a throwaway.
Yeah, this was giving like not storm but drizzle.
Oh,
you know. That's what it was giving. Because, like, in a way, because low key, had she kind of made the swimsuit look kind of like Storm, you know, like you could have kept the same silhouette, maybe put a little bit of black on the cape, and then wore a white wig. That could have saved the whole look. But
so you're saying change the whole look? You said if you change the wig and the makeup and the cape and the swimwear
and the shoes all right, next we have Arrietty.
Okay, Arrietty, I'll give it to you. I'm glad they saved your ass last week because I was mad last week, but you ate this week. You ate.
Yeah, I agree. She was definitely my favorite of the week, especially given how she was on her way out the door last week, you know. Literally. Which, by the way, I'm glad that Dunkaho thing or whatever it was called is gone. I'm glad
the same. I was like, "Where's Jarrell at?" I was like, "I need to talk to Jarrell because that shit made me so mad."
Glad is gone. So you know, I here's my only issue, and that's just because I live out here in Seattle, so I know the Seattle queens like love to do the sci-fi, you know, kind of elf ears, etc. I feel like that works great for this challenge, but I still am not seeing anything other than that. And she's gonna go home again if this is her top. So I'm a little worried that this might be her peak episode.
Her peak.
But you know what? Is. What a great way to peak, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, like and honestly, if she goes home, if she goes home after this, because if she goes home after this for any other reason, even if it's the next episode or 2 episodes from this, she can go home being very proud of what she delivered on this stage. She has a very strong catalog of looks. And what I appreciate about what she did is that she also changed her makeup for every single look.
Every fucking time.
It wasn't just like the same face with the different hair and but it was like completely different makeup. And I just thought best makeup artist in not only this season, but probably there's a number of seasons that she's one of the top makeup artists of all of RuPaul's Drag Race. Because she does,
really,
yeah. Because it's one thing to do kind of like cosplay kind of makeup, but if you look at what she's actually doing, the skill level that she is demonstrating through her makeup is phenomenal. And it's not just beauty; it's beautiful. It's beauty makeup, but it's also character.
I'm gonna have to think on that. I'll put her in the top tier, probably top 10, but maybe
I didn't say she was a number one, but what I did say was that
certainly I thought you meant like of all seasons. I was like, oof.
No, I said one of the best makeup artists of all of the seasons is what I said. Yeah. Okay.
I will say though, she should have killed this because that's the one thing we've said all season is that she looks great. So this is the episode for her to kill. And if she didn't, then she definitely should have went home. But I agree with Gerald. This might be peak because it's a look episode.
Yep.
So
next we have Susie Toot.
I hate it and love it at the same time. Like the Amelia Earhart needs to fly on home and crash in the sea somewhere because that was so horrible. But the first one, the second one made me chuckle. Is it the best looks? No, but it's very Susie too. And there's always that one queen every season where I'm like, it's not the best look. I get it, but it's very distinctly them, and I like it. So it's Susie too. It's Susie too.
What do you think, Drew?
Yeah, she was definitely trolling us. She was definitely trolling us with this, and I'm actually low key here for it. I was like, you know what? You do that.
I think honestly, what I would actually love to see Susie Toot do is play with her own body silhouette because she doesn't really pad a lot, and I feel like if she had more of a curvaceous hourglass figure, like what works for me is you see that in the Red Lobster. Well, it's actually a coconut shell octopus is what this is. You see more of that silhouette. That accentuated silhouette, but in some of the other looks, she looks very straight up and down, and it doesn't read dragalicious. All right. Next is Kori King, who her fish is the Mandarin fish.
You know what? I want to see Kori in an auburn colored wig. I think that's what's like. I don't like blonde wigs on him. That's what I'm realizing now as I'm going on in the season. I figured it out watching this episode. He always goes for the light wig. I think if he went with a brunette or like an auburn reddish, he would eat it up more. I think, again, I've said it all season with Kori. He doesn't know what he wants his drag persona to be. And he's just doing drag to do drag. And it comes out every week.
She's having fun. She's like, oh, I'm dressing up. I'm having fun. I'm putting on a look. Okay.
And it comes out that way every week. I'm like, okay, you're just doing. It's like if I got up to do drag, this is what I would look like and do. And that shouldn't be the case because this is your career and your profession.
Yeah. I don't know. I agree with you, Corel. The thing is, she lives in Boston, so she gonna wear a blonde wig.
You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
So there's that. I just, again, she's in that middle. Like, I do not see her winning this season. I don't see her winning this season. Not after 7 episodes. Like, have not been nowhere near the top.
No.
A single episode. Right. So I'm starting to just think about Kori King after this season, and I want to see that Kori. I'm at the point where I don't even want to talk about her on this season anymore because I know she's on her journey. So I'm ready to see the results of Kori post RuPaul's Drag Race.
I wouldn't be surprised if she is still hosting, in her hometown, like after this is over, because I don't think she has it in her. I don't think she has the drive. I don't think she has the passion. She's so worried about Lydia's butthole as opposed to competing on this competition. And I'm frankly really upset because there are so many other girls that would kill for this spot that have the fire. And it's just like I think she likes being there, but she's not fighting for it.
She's
and
a character.
Obvious.
That's one of the things, though, I will say, though, she is a character when it comes to this show, right? She's one of the main people talking shit. She's the main people instigating. You hear her confessionals. She the main person talking shit about other people doing drag. Like, to me, she brings some of that character drama. But
I would have rather have had Joella than her. Rather have
Joella
Send them both home.
Yeah, Joella
Send
wasn't
them
bringing
both
much
home.
either. So I mean,
but
Oh,
at least
man,
Joella cared. At least, and she showed up, like she competed.
At least she had the delusion. Yeah, you're right.
It wasn't good, but she put 100 and 1,000. She put 1,000% into everything she did, and you felt that.
Yeah,
This.
yeah, but if this ain't 1,000%, that means there's still room to grow. And someone peaked on episode 2, and that's why she went home on episode 3.
Oh,
so
next to the stage is Acacia Fagot, whose fish is the feather star.
Here's the thing. Like, I feel like Acacia just needs money. Acacia needs money to, like, because at least she has a perspective. Her makeup is actually, if you look at her makeup is actually not that bad. It's just some fine tuning is what Acacia needs. She just needs some slight tweaking. And I think she's going to be one that is going to shock us in an All-Stars in a couple of years, quite frankly. It's not hitting now, but she just needs a slight fine tune. And you can be like, oh shit, that's Acacia? I think that's what's going to happen in a few years.
I think what she needs is time, not money, right?
Okay.
Because you got to think about, like, these again are two of these outfits she bought from home. So we know creatively where she is right now, and it's not up to par for things you bought from home. At least many of the girls had one outfit that resembled something, okay?
Yeah.
But these were two big ass L's, okay?
Yeah.
So I one of the things that separates me for what I've nudged her over Kori for me, though, is I can see that she is trying.
Yes.
You know, like
She's
I can see a little bit of an effort into it. Kori is not giving me that right now, but that's why I put her above. You give her time, I think she'll know who she is, because like she said in the very first episode, she can do all these different things, especially become all these different type of instruments, right? I just think up here, she has all these different things. She just doesn't know how to organize them and put it out there on paper.
That's a good way
She
to
will
say
be
that.
someone who will be good in a couple years.
This is less of a critique about her looks, because I think, you know, they speak for themselves. But what I would say is that her presentation, she needs to work on her presentation. Her walk sucks. She walks like a truck driver. She literally walks like she clomps in those heels. And so when you're presenting, just the way that you move your body to really emphasize the mood of what you're trying to sell, she doesn't do that. And there's a little bit of like deadness in the face. She really needs to work on her presentation, because presentation could sell a fucked up looking garment. But
that's what we
you
said
know,
about Anya. That's what we said about Anya.
Absolutely.
1000.
So, you know, take it to heart, Acacia, before we forget. And now we move on to Miss Lexi Love, and her fish was the purple stinger jellyfish.
I love me some Lexi Love.
I did too.
But okay, let me say the positive first. 8 on the first one, thought it was fire. Loved it, this goldy bronziness of the thing. The second one, completely different look, the etherealness of it and all. Third one, 8. Love that fucking wig, by the way. Mm-hmm. But bitch, that's what you was upset about this tarp, and that's what you came on. You just put some motherfucking flowers. It doesn't matter if they spray painted it brown. Like that's what you.
By the way, I don't know if you saw it, but the spray paint, she didn't cover the spray paint up.
No.
So the brown and the blue she kept on there.
Girl.
No,
You
she
was doing
literally
the
said
most.
she literally said she flipped it over. She said they didn't spray paint both sides of the tarp. So you don't even see the brown part because the brown part is behind her on the floor.
So all the
I'm like,
dramatics.
girl. All the dramatics.
All the dramatics.
I was like, this is what you came out with? But she looks good. She ate. But
Yeah.
There is
you
something
literally cut a
very,
hole in that tarp and put it over your shoulder and came out.
there is something about Lexi Love. Like she is like the I've been trying to figure out the right analogy for her because we all know of, maybe not personally, but have seen this chick before.
Yes.
She to me is like the lovable hooker from Las Vegas, right?
The lovable hooker.
And I'm not saying this in a disparaging way. Like, you know, she's lived like a life and she wears it, but she wears it as a badge of honor because that's the person that made her the person that she is. And it shows through in her presentation, the way she walks with such confidence. And by the way, she got some legs on her. And I love that we get to see them every goddamn week. Them legs are phenomenal, phenomenal. And face and body, all of it.
Yeah. I will say that Lexi is going to make a name for herself.
1,000%.
She's going to seize this opportunity, and Lexi will be one of the queens that everyone's going to be talking about from years to come. She won't be just a season 17 girl. She's going to be one of the Rue girls because she knows how to. She knows what she's doing. She's taking those experiences that Dewan was talking about. Yes. And like they were talking about like finances, like, bitch, what?
Yeah.
She on top of her shit.
Yeah.
My favorite to win this whole season. Like,
this is what a point of view gives you. This is what time gives you. Yeah. And honestly, I don't even know if, like you're saying, the money. I agree with you, Jarrell. It might not even be money. This is just like the point of view and time and experience and drive to want to be a drag persona gives you. That some of these queens are missing. That is just so palpable in this season for me. And Lexi might be my number one.
And I would tell you,
she's the front runner.
I would also tell you that it doesn't matter what she makes or wears. She knows how to put a look together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Her
she's like almost like a stylist.
Style is incredible. Now, she might not always have the best stunning looks or whatever, but what she puts together, she owns the hell out of it.
You're right.
Okay.
And then we get to this.
On the contrast, we see Hormona Lisa. And her fish was Leafy Sea Dragon.
Bye. And I'm glad that Rue called her out too, saying, "You gonna make this dress again?" And think if she literally would have had the middle dress for the third dress again, she would have had 2 out of 3 this damn same thing if Rue didn't say that. I was tired of her episodes again. I want her to go home when she won the dunk challenge. I'm glad it's time for her to be in the bottom again. Bye. This was horrible.
Yeah, same.
And next we have coming to the stage is Lana Jaray.
Mala, you in danger, girl.
Baby, you in danger. I like you, Lana, but baby, this was a rough week.
Like, she's starting to become one of the girls who rely on body a little too much for me.
Yes.
That part.
You know, and the look that she made did not give anything at all whatsoever. So I hope that when it comes to the other challenges, she can continue to be in the top half, because right now her runway is not going to get her too much longer into the season.
Yeah, I agree. I do think that her and her fish was the purple sea urchin. I do feel like the middle look, the purple sea urchin with the spikes and whatnot was really interesting and really nice. But that bikini, girl, did you go to Claire's for that bikini? Because it said nothing. And the dress or the debacle that you made said confusion. So, you know, if she isn't working with another stylist or another designer to put a look together, I'm starting to wonder, well, girl, what is you really doing? So you just thinking that you're going to be pretty and that's going to be enough. And what I love is the fact that when Ru was doing her walkthrough, she was talking to her and she was like, so Lana was like, I really wish that I could have got some critiques from the,
sit your ass down because I got something for you.
Just gobble them up because they gave you critiques this week. So now you know.
And here's the thing, Ru is still one. Don't play with me, ho. Like, because like I felt like Ru took that a little like slighted. She's like, oh, okay, then guess what? Your ass was about to go home.
And she said, listen, and she brought it back. She was like, oh, by the way, the thing that you wore last competition, you were this close to being in the bottom.
That.
So I'm glad that she gave her a little wake-up call.
Awakening.
We will see whether that's enough for the balance of the competition, but I'm not optimistic.
I just have one thing. When you wear a swimsuit like that, where does your penis go? That's what I think every time these girls be wearing these little things. I'm like, damn, because they turn around and you don't see no ball slip, no nothing. I'm like, damn, y'all really tucking because that hurt me.
That's the power of duct tape. So the tops of the week are Sam, Crystal, and Arrietty. Bottoms of the week is Acacia and Hormona and Lana Jarre. And curious, are you feeling like this is the right tops and the right bottoms, or would you swap anybody out based on your own personal perspectives?
I always say this: throw Kori in there too. Take them all. A trifecta. Send them all home. Send them all home. We don't need them here no more.
Yeah, who were the tops again?
Tops were Crystal, Sam, and Arrietty.
Yeah,
I probably would have thrown Lexi in there.
Yeah, Lexi would have been in there as well.
Who would you take out?
I think
Sam.
I would have taken out Sam.
Okay.
Yeah, because Sam gave us exactly what we expected, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It would have been Sam
for
me. Mm-hmm.
And then the bottoms were Acacia Forgot, Hormona Lisa, and Lana Jarre.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the winner of the week is Arrietty. Rightfully so. Congratulations, girl.
So.
Don't fuck it up. We'll see how long you last. And then the lip sync is Lana and Hormona. Do we feel that this is correct?
Yeah.
Out of the three.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And going home this week is Miss Hormona. So
low key.
Second time's a charm.
Low key though. Lana was right there. Lana was almost Lana.
Lana
it was a horrible lip sync.
She better hope she don't get back into the bottom two because
she was right there.
Hormona
only been home because this is the second time that Hormona was there.
She lacks stage presence, to be honest with you. I will say though, when I looked back and rewatched the lip sync, her lip syncing and the connection with the song and giving what the song is giving, I really appreciate it. But it was all mouth. It wasn't like what she was doing with her body and how she was leveraging the stage. And it just felt like, you know what, this could have been a meh. It could have been
that could have been a meh episode for sure.
Yeah,
I agree.
And
only reason Hormona went home was because she was already down the bottom.
And low key, that would have been a gag, just because Ru hadn't sent two girls home in a long time.
In a minute. So, and I'm ready for her to do so.
So Hormona goes home, and then we see the preview for next week, which is going to be Snatch Game.
Yeah.
And we hear from the previews that it doesn't quite go swimmingly. So,
it never does.
Any predictions on who is going to be excelling and who might be in trouble?
I'm afraid that Anya might struggle. And I just think that because she leans into Black culture, right? And I feel like often when queens do that, the character gets away from them because they're not an easy, like, mainstream person, right? That everybody will get. So I think she might struggle a little bit, but based off of her hosting skills, though, I think she's going to at least play the game well enough from an answering standpoint.
She's quick. Yeah.
She's quick.
Not like some of the other girls.
And I'm worried about Lexi a little bit too. My top two, I'm worried about
struggle?
Lexi. Yeah.
Okay.
I think Lexi might struggle in this.
Yeah.
I feel like Kori's going to be annoying. I don't know what character Kori would be able to do.
She's gonna be somebody stupid. Like one of the things that like all of her references are like black adjacent. They're never like sitting
she's
in.
gonna be one of the sisters from White Chicks. I bet you.
I could see that.
I can see that,
and I can see that not landing at all. All.
I feel like the trick, obviously, of Snatch Game is to make Rue laugh, but I feel like if it's a character that's too ingrained, it stifles you because you have to hit the notes that everybody knows. Mm-hmm. So I feel like you have to find a character that leaves you enough wiggle room to just kind of make it up. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be so that person.
Yeah.
Unless you are just very good at impressions. Mm-hmm. If you're very good at impressions, that's the only other way you could kind of do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or lean into somebody whose personality traits are similar to yours so you can really be comfortable with it.
So
there's a lot of girls that I'm nervous for. Jules, I think, is going to have a problem. I think Arrietty's going to have a problem.
I think so too.
Because they're good at like being shady, but not at being funny.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, I think they're going to be in the bottom for different reasons. I think Acacia Forgot that's going to be a snooze fest.
Damn, I don't know who's going to be good. I'm trying to think. I'm like, who's going to be good?
I have a feeling it's going to be a bad Snatch Game.
I feel they previewed that it is.
Yeah.
They previewed that because Ross Matthews, I forget what exact words he says, but I think he said that was a rough Snatch Game. So I feel like, and I'm hoping that they have all the queens on, they have all of them at the same time instead of breaking up into two groups. Because I feel like when they break it up into two groups, the vibe is always off. It's not always as fun when they have everybody like you have the top row and the bottom row and everybody's there and they're riffing off of each other.
Yeah.
I'll be very curious to see like what Sam Starr does. Because I feel like I'd be curious because I feel like if he does like, what is her name?
Sam would do like a Blanche Devereaux.
The baby.
Like...
No. The little pageant girl.
Honey Boo Boo?
No. The other one. The one that got that one.
The one that got murdered. They still haven't solved the murder.
Yes.
John Bonet.
I got Lana Janae stuck in my head. So lingerie stuck in my head. So I couldn't remember. But if she does something like that's close to her world and leans into her country old accent and whatnot, it'd be very interesting to see what she does.
Yeah, I just feel like it's gonna be a rough week. And I'm like, send all these hoes.
Well, community, let us know what you liked about this season. Let us know what you liked about this episode and any predictions that you have for next episode, which is going to be the Snatch Game, in the comments below. And if you know any Drag Race fans who don't know that we have this recap every single week, be sure to put your peeps on so they know to come over here and watch us at MinoriTEA.
I know, that's the MinoriTEA. And until next week's episode, wash your hands, your legs, and your ass. Bye. Yeah, send all them hoes home.